We are now talking to Rider University Bronx head baseball coach Barry Davis. What's going on, Barry? How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
We are good, man. I mean, with everything that's going on with this pandemic and the terrible driving of some of the people here on Long Island, just terrible, absolutely terrible. How are you and your family doing?
We're doing fine. Thanks for asking.
Absolutely. So why don't we get into some of the baseball, your baseball team? How going into this season, and obviously with everything that's happened with the COVID-19, what were your thoughts of your team this season before the season was canceled?
Well, before the season started, I thought we'd be real competitive. I thought we had we had two very good starting pitchers that I thought would be, very productive and would give us, solid innings every time out, be consistent, two left-handed pitchers, and that was one of the things. And we had a little bit of experience, but we had a good mix of young guys as well. I was confident. I thought, the last couple of years before this particular season have not been very good. So we felt like we turned the corner. We had a great recruiting class, and we developed a little bit better, for the couple of years that we struggled. Felt good about it, and then when the season started, we opened up with a sweep down in Charleston Southern, which was a good confidence builder. Played well at East Tennessee State, played well at James Madison, played well at Delaware. Did not win a game, lost 3 games by 4 runs. So we felt really good about where we were, and then the pandemic hit, and I mean it came sudden and it came quick, and it ended. It went from basically thinking that we're gonna be quarantined maybe for 2 weeks and then get back at it to nothing.
Talk about when in your managerial career, the two NCAA tournament appearances you guys had, 2008 and 2010. Talk about those experiences, what they were like for your team.
Well, the first year we in '08 we were not playing well at the end of the year, and it was kind of an odd season. We played really well in the middle, and then down the stretch, I think we had lost 9 of our last 11, and we kind of snuck in the back door, got in the tournament as the fourth seed, and then for 3 days we played about as well as you can play. We got starting pitching, clutch hitting. I think that particular weekend, one of the stats I know we sacrifice bunts are not big, but that particular weekend we bunted 11 times, sacrificed, and we were 11 for 11, and we put our guys in position to score, and we got some hits and won the tournament, which was exciting. They had never won the MAC conference tournament ever, and so that was exciting, and got a chance to go out to California, Cal State Fullerton, and play with Fullerton, UCLA, and Virginia. So that was exciting. 2010 was basically same type of team, same kind of team, just a couple years older, a lot of the same guys. And we got hot about game 39 or 40. I think we won. I can't remember exactly. It was like we won 21 of our last 23. Or something to that effect, and I wouldn't say we breezed through the tournament, but we didn't lose. We were real competitive. We had a little bit of everything. A solid club. That team was probably a little better than the '08 team, and then we draw a bid to go play Texas in the first round. Texas, Louisiana Lafayette, and Rice, and great experiences for our guys and me as well. And we haven't been back in a while. We've had good teams since then, and we just haven't been able to get the clutch hit or make the clutch pitch or have a little luck on our side. So those were two great experiences.
We are talking to Rider University Bronx head baseball coach Barry Davis. Now, Barry, we've asked a lot of coaches this same question. When you go into a household and you're trying to recruit a player, and you're trying to recruit a player through his family, his parents, and you're telling him how good the school is, how good the baseball program is, how do you go upon doing that and selling your school and your program?
Well, I mean, every recruiting class is a little different, and our philosophies have varied from year to year. I thought when I first got there, we were turning the roster over. So every kid that we were recruiting, we were almost saying, you're going to get a chance to play right away. And then we, like through those 2 years we just talked about, Then we started to kind of fill backup guys, and it kind of backfired on us a little bit. The last couple of years, we recruited some junior college players. But what we would tell them, would be, and the real, the best way for us is to say, look, you're going to get an opportunity to compete. You're going to get an opportunity to play. We try to obviously recruit the right guy. And if he's the right guy, he's usually in there his freshman year, maybe no later than his sophomore year. If we recruit a guy and he's not on the field as a position player by the time he's a junior, we've probably made a mistake. And of course, it's the type of kid we get. If he's a high character kid, he'll battle and get himself on the field somehow. But for the most part, our philosophy is to go in and get guys that are going to help us right away. Pitching is a little different because you need more than 9 or 10 pitchers. We got 17 on our roster right now. Arm injuries, can happen, occur, quite often now. So we try to, build some depth there. But for the most part, getting an opportunity to play, and we sell riders academics. Got a good academic school. We got a good business program. Most of our guys major in business. We've added some new majors that are more more mainstream. That people are interested in. So it's been an evolution from when I first got there till now. We kind of made a full circle. So we feel like we're on the right track, and the things that we accomplished in '08 and 10, I think there's some real possibilities here in the future.
In terms of you being not a Power 5 school, is there a different strategy managerially for you, something unique, something really out there that you guys do if you're faced off with an opponent of a Power 5 conference, or like you were saying, a Rice or a Cal State Fullerton that's a big baseball school, even not a Power 5 team? Do you do anything different as a result of playing those guys, or is it just still your game plan?
Well, we've played those types of schools fairly consistently in my career at Rider. Those tournament games, we were very confident going into the tournament. Of course, that's a different level. When you get to that the Cal State Fullerton, I think, was 5th in the country. Texas was number 2 in the country. And we go in there, and they need to win those games. They're playing at their A level, and they're very difficult. So our biggest thing is just going in and trying to do what we do well, and try to stay with them, maintain, be confident, attack the zone as pitchers. Just do the things that got you there. Now during the regular season, sometimes it's a little different. So we'll give you an example. We went to South Carolina in 2013 with a really good team. Really playing well at the time, really confident. We had good starting pitching. We had, some matchup bullpen guys. We had some experience. And we go down and play the 6th ranked team that had just played the national championship 3 straight years, winning it twice. And for one weekend, we looked like we belonged. Now, that may have been because they played down to us. It wasn't a tournament type situation, just a normal weekend. But we went in there confident, and we don't really have anything to lose. So we can play relaxed. We can, do the things that we want to do. We just try to play. I probably do less coaching in those situations, and I try to let the guys relax and enjoy the atmosphere, because when we played at Georgia and South Carolina, you got nice crowds, great stadiums, great facilities. You just enjoy being there. And I think that's an advantage for us, provided, that we have some talent, and we've had some at times, could go out and compete on the mound, because if you can't compete on the mound, you're not going to have a chance against those types of guys. That's for sure. So if you don't have pitching, or you still don't have good starting pitching that can get you through 6 or 7, you're going to have trouble against those types of teams. They're just deep, and they're good 1 through 9 in the order. And they got guys on the bench that are probably more athletic, more talented than your guys. So they have a lot of the things that we don't have, but we go down there and play relaxed and try to do just play our game and enjoy the atmosphere.
We are talking to Rider's University Bronx head baseball coach, Barry Davis. Now, Barry, you were just talking about pitching, and Tommy John surgery has really taken over the game. I mean, the injuries, not only with major league players, high school players, college players, and really AA and AAA players that some of these players have gotten better after Tommy John, and some of these players have not been the same pitcher. Now, your thoughts to the Tommy John surgery and your thoughts to Tommy John's. Do you think this affected pitchers when they were younger because they threw too hard or they learned how to throw a curveball at a young age? What are your thoughts to Tommy John's?
Well, I mean, we don't have, all night to talk about this. That's for sure, because you can go a long ways with this. But here's what I would say. When I first started coaching, we didn't have I didn't have pitching coaches and that type of thing. I learned some things as an assistant at George Mason from Mike Brown, who pitched in the big leagues for the Red Sox back in the '80s. And he had a program, and we long tossed, we lifted, and I never had any arm problems, and we never had any. We never had any. That we're going like in the early '90s, into the late '90s, and then as the pitching, the gurus and the drive lines and med balls and all these strength programs, have become very popular, and if you don't know what you're doing, from my experience, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to hurt yourself. And we've had that happen to our guys a couple of times. They go off and they want to throw harder. Everybody wants to throw hard, but nobody knows how to pitch. But my theory too is they play so much baseball. When I played, and guys my age, when we were kids, we played baseball, and baseball season ended, we played football. And football season ended, we played basketball. And I guess if you were up in the northeast, or northern Midwest, you'd play hockey or something. But kids today, they play baseball, and they play it all the time, and that's all they do, and they don't really get a chance to develop. And I'm sure somewhere along the way the arms are they're damaged, and you only have so many bullets in there. And but guys do bounce back. Guys do throw well. You pretty much you learn how to rehab. They got it down to a science now. You have the surgery. You know exactly what you're doing. You know where you at on the schedule, and where you should be after 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. And everybody's a little different depending on who you are. But it certainly can flare up again, or you could pitch without any issues. I mean, you see it in the major leagues all the time, but I mean, those guys are big and strong. I just think these kids are so strong now that shoulder capsule and that shoulder joint just has a tough time handling that type of torque and that type of velocity and arm speed.
Do you think it's a specific type of pitch, maybe learning the breaking balls too early, throwing too hard too early, maybe even the variety of pitches that are thrown? Because it's interesting, there's a lot of pitches that aren't really thrown as much as they used to, like the wacky ones, like the fork ball, the palm ball, stuff like that aren't really thrown anymore. Right. But you're seeing more curve balls as a whole, I guess, variety-wise. What do you think is the biggest reasoning for that? Do you think it's more break? Do you think it's more velocity? From the pitching form perspective, what do you blame most?
Well, a lot of schools, a lot of programs, a lot of youth programs, high school, they don't have pitching coaches. They don't have guys watching them all the time and making sure the mechanics are they're throwing properly. They got good fundamentals. I think if your mechanics are bad, I mean, you're putting extra strain on your elbow and your shoulder. I mean, those are factors. I mean, it's a little bit above my pay grade in terms of knowing, the physiological aspects of it. I do know, a certain amount of pitches, we try to keep an eye on them. We try to condition them, with bands and light weights and that type of thing. And then the off season program's a little bit more designed for strength. But the curveball, the slider, I mean, as a young, not developing, that could certainly have a play, and that could be a factor. I mean, other certain kids don't have arm issues, and it's everybody's built differently, and but I would say at an early age, throwing breaking balls and because it certainly works against the natural movement of the arm, that's going to play some type of role in a potential injury down the road.